Greetings all, Vanna here for Taurus's weekend message. I feel like that one wants to come out. The Page of Cups is appearing for you. There is certainly a lot of opportunity being thrown around in the collective. I know in my personal readings that I receive, it is always coming up in almost every single reading from several people. There is an opportunity coming and you need to be ready to accept it, even if you feel like you may not deserve it. Even if you feel like this is like way more than what you thought originally you were going to deserve or you were going to make or this was going to happen. Be open to the fact that you aren't aware of how your blessings are going to come in. And that's wonderful because A, it leaves an air of surprise and enjoyment for you, but also B, that gives spirit so much more room to work with. Because you have to understand, my love, and I know I explain this in almost every single video, every single time, but manifestation works on your thoughts, your voice, and what you say, and all they do is amplify the energy that you send them. So you have to send them what it is you want, and instead of dwelling on everything that hasn't happened, on everything that you haven't done, on everything that hasn't worked out. Now, I'm not saying to ignore problems, but you don't have to hyperfixate on every single thing that has gone wrong. And I want to stress that I am aware that people have a lot of issues. There are a lot of problems going on in the world in general. And sometimes it feels like that is the only thing that we can focus on to keep ourselves safe, to keep ourselves sane, is to be aware of all of these problems. But my love, if you do not balance it with at least one good thing, one thing you're grateful for, one thing that is going well for you, you are going to drown in the anxiety and negativity. And I am speaking from my own experience on this. It's very difficult to pull yourself out of that place when you start getting weighed down like that. Because you have to start severing what does not serve you, what actively pulls you down into that muck. And sometimes it's habits, sometimes it's places, most of the time it's people. Most of the time it's the people that were attracted to you in your energy at different points. And yeah, Eight of Swords in reverse. Not everyone would carry the same intentions or the same dreams, and it's like they would want to corrupt you. And it's not something that I feel like a lot of people actively do. Yeah, especially with the Three of Cups in reverse at the bottom of the deck. It's not something that people actively do, wanting to corrupt others, wanting to pull them down. Unless they truly are just a malicious person and they are aware of that themselves. But misery loves company. And when you are radiating, working on yourself to pull yourself out of all of that, it takes a lot of work. And then in moments of weakness, when your strength falters, when you feel yourself stumbling and crumbling, there are old habits, tests from old people coming in that would try to bring you back to the depths that you've already crawled out of. And right now, Taurus, I want to remind you that you are only human, and you are far too critical on yourself. You are far too hard on yourself. And every decision you make is a deeply personal one, which, of course, every decision you make is deeply personal, because it is your life, it is your energy, and you're not one that wastes your energy lightly. And so I feel like during these struggles, there will be a lot of tests and opportunities for you to go back and fall back into bad habits. And I want to stress that rejection is divine protection, and do your best until you know better, and then do better. And what I mean by both of those things is that sometimes we are blocked from things that are not meant for us. And it takes a little while for our ego to hear that. And especially for us Tauruses, we have to have it up front said, I don't want this, or it's not going to be done this way. And that can be frustrating. But what I was saying with do your best until you know better, you can only deal with the information that you have now. And you are actively learning every single day. So while there may be instances of a slip up or a fallback into a bad behavior or a bad habit, it's the awareness that you carry in catching yourself and moving forward and correcting and readjusting. It's 333 on my clock right now. You also have furred and feathered friends and shine your light. You have a beautiful and glorious light, and I feel that there will be many animals that are very drawn to that light, because animals see auras a lot easier than humans do, because they are a lot more connected to spirit. They don't have to deal with the ego of, I have to have this role or this job or make this amount of money to be valuable. They're just living their best lives, and we need to take a point from that. But also, they see your radiance. They see your light and your joy and your happiness, and they see when you're sparking off or angry. And so it's very important to be around that kind of unconditional love sometimes. Like, I went 10 plus years without a dog when mine passed away when I was 10 years old. And 2 years ago, we got our first dogs. And my life has been so much happier and brighter with Artemis and Hestia, because there is a constant reminder of true unconditional love when I am having a really stressful and bad day. And I do believe that goes back very much to having the strength to shine your light, having the strength to stand up and really know when you're going to accept something and know when you're going to reject something, because there are going to be instances of, will you go back to this? Will you do this again? Coming up for the rest of your life, because these tests will always occur. And when you hold yourself in a high energy, when you hold yourself and your self-value in a high energy, these tests will not be as difficult as they once were. Now, I'm not going to say that there aren't going to be difficult tests, because there always will be. But the anxiety you feel of, will I fail this, is not serving you. It's not a matter of passing or failing. It's not a matter of putting a grade on it. Did you learn your lesson? Did you see the blessing? And that's the most important thing to gain from any situation. Truly, Taurus, there will be challenges. Holding in your integrity, speaking to your heart, and when you are confused, speaking aloud to Spirit, to Mother, can be incredibly helpful, because it isn't just getting the thoughts and noise out of your head. When you ask Mother or talk to Spirit about it, then they might be able to give you an answer, if you are willing to hear what they have to say. It's all in how you are willing to receive information and be perceived. Have a beautiful day, my love.